With the Return of the Damned releasing today, let's talk about the hardest decision, well, not really for me, in Sea of Thieves. I'm going to be telling you why you'll be choosing Captain Flameheart, and I'm covering all bases including logically, lore-wise, bribery, and even some future content. So without further ado, let's get on with it. The adventure is very simple and might be more accessible than Lost Sands. Here's a quick guide on how to score points. Head to Lorena and ask her about her new favour. This time you have two clear paths, Belle's path, the wrong one, or the Servant's path, the right one. Pick the Servant's path and head to the Reaper's hideout. Daggertooth is the best spawn for this one, New Golden Sands will also do. Once you get to the hideout, the Servant will give you your next task. You have to raise the Reaper flag, a new inventory item at any of the 6 forts around the map. He also asks you to bring back bewitching dolls for the ritual. Simply head to the fort of your choice and complete it as you would normally. Sometimes you'll find a Soulflame captain there, a brand new, never ever before seen enemy, aside from the 3 most recent story missions of course. Kill him and he'll emit this glowing sphere where he died. Once the fort captain is killed, go ahead and raise your flag. The fort is now claimed. Now, search the fort for bewitching dolls. These can be found in the cabinets and wardrobes around the fort and in the vault. If you're lucky enough to find a Soulflame captain, bring the doll over and enchant it. This will earn the Reapers more points if turned into the Servant. Now simply take your dolls back to the Reaper's hideout and boom, the adventure is over. And now the points are scored. It's a 20-minute adventure at best. Both sides score points in exactly the same way. You'll see this ritual table showing the 6 forts and who controls them, with beacons visible from a distance. If you manage to control all 6, you get a massive bonus to your dolls being turned in. The magnitude of points goes like this, from smallest to largest. Turn in a bewitching doll, turn in enchanted bewitching dolls, and you get a bonus depending on how many forts your side controls, with 6 being an even bigger bonus. That's it, each fort will reset to neutral after 6 hours after being claimed by a faction. There's no run bottle cheesing, no endless rowing, just repeatedly doing the content that came out in March. Pure bliss. So why should you pick Captain Flameheart and condemn the champion of lols to damnation? It's simply the more interesting choice. Think back to the Tales from the Sea of Thieves book, a novel about the Servant of the Flame's journey to follow in his father's footsteps, the legendary Captain Flameheart. Flameheart was teased way back in 2018, both as his father and as the Servant's original nickname. Then we get his grand introduction in November 2019, where Captain Fuckup releases Flameheart out of his remains into the Sea of the Damned. In March 2020, Flameheart's story is cut short at the end of Heart of Fire, causing us to wait 2 painful years for a continuation of the story. Fast forward to January 2022, and we finally get back into the Flameheart story. It spanned 4.5 years at this point. One could argue the teaser started in 2016 with the E3 cinematic trailer. I'm sick and tired of waiting for that payoff, and to make this a choice is criminal. We need Flameheart back in his physical form for that emotional payoff. Think of the last arc, or even as adventures started. Each arc is bad guys do something, but good guys clutch the win. Think how awful this arc would be if Athena's fortune stopped the Herald of the Flame, but surprise, they didn't. Then in Return of the Damned, surprise, we actually did save the day through the power of friendship. The narrative is so much more interesting if the villains are actually threatening. But I don't think any of us can stomach another plot point about the Servant trying to resurrect his father. It's time to break the cycle. Flameheart won't be defeated by this, he'll just come back in a more boring and lame way. Imagine if Flameheart's full model reveal is just a red ghost. It would just be Ramsay but a skeleton lord. Now, picture that triumphant reveal of a full-bodied skeleton lord of the greatest pirate to ever roam the Sea of Thieves. In full colour too. It's so much more imposing. Think about that thumbnail tease and dial it up to 11. What if we get a world event fighting Flameheart or the physical Burning Blade? While unlikely, it's a very real possibility, and the alternative could be the return of the Bobblehead. No one wants that. Hell, what if Flameheart becomes a quest giver at the Reaper's hideout? Or even better, what if we can have some adventures where we work for him instead of being constantly forced to help Athena's fortune? I cannot picture one exciting thing we could do if Pendragon wins. From a pure storytelling standpoint, Pendragon needs to atone for his mistakes. He doesn't deserve just to stick his neck on the line and come out smelling of roses. A much better arc is trying to right his wrongs and giving his life for the cause. Athena's fortune knows no loss, they need to feel it to raise the stakes. Empire Strikes Back, Avengers Infinity War, Game of Thrones, it's always much more exciting when the bad guys win. Good triumphing over evil is a boring trope. When the supposed villains win, it always makes things more intense and a touch more realistic. If we're also talking about sacrifice, the Servant of the Flame has sacrificed so much for this moment, and are we just going to make those actions fruitless? He lost his crew, he lost the Silver Blade twice, he toiled to build the Reaper's hideout, and now he's arranging the ritual to ensure his father's return. Do it for him if anything. The lore stance even makes sense too. Athena's fortune and Ramsay has allowed the Grand Maritime Union into our shores, let alone breaking bread with the trading companies. The mysterious stranger accepts loot from the sovereigns without question, and has brokered a deal. What sort of guardians of the Sea of Thieves allow the terrible GMU into the Sea of Thieves? Ramsay is the frog in boiling water. He first tried to form alliances, and that caused the rise of the gold hoarders. He then allowed the Merchant Alliance to operate, who thrive off the existence of the Grand Maritime Union. The Order of Souls are evil too, who work on slaying skeletons to steal their secrets, but has the gall to accuse Flameheart of being hungry for power. The trading companies are weak. They drain the Sea of Thieves dry for wealth and power, turning the Sea of Thieves into the opposite of what it's meant for. How can you have freedom when your only slice of it is tied up in someone else's pocket? Now, with the sovereigns being firm representatives of the Grand Maritime Union, they will inevitably make their way through the Shroud, all because Ramsay couldn't say no. And when that does happen, only one pirate can stop them, Captain Flameheart. We also have the Dark Brethren, who wish to end the pirate's life for good, now roaming freely in and out of the Sea of the Damned. They straight up murdered Merrick, while Bell and Pendragon did nothing to help him. The Pirate Lord's main concern was not Merrick himself, but the information he holds. Where's the camaraderie? We shall sail together indeed. Their mysterious captain pulls the strings, but once again, Flameheart is the only one to prevent the end of the pirate's life. He defeated the captain once when he took the Burning Blade, and he'll do it again. Finally, the point I've seen no one bring up, the return of Flameheart was a prophecy foretold by the ancients themselves, hundreds of years in the making. The moon will rise on a day like no other, where the veil is parted. Spirits and souls shall walk among our kin, to be honoured and remembered. But there shall be one who lurks beyond the veil, who shall make himself known. The burning one shall seek not a moment of visitation, but a time of resurrection. And the time of resurrection shall be foretold, by the one reborn as the herald of the flame. The prophecy was foretold, so who are we to change the destiny of the Sea of Thieves? This is the time of resurrection, not the time of redemption. It's time to liberate the waves and reinstall true piracy. The strong will no longer serve the weak. We're on the cusp of beginning that process. All we have to do is just simply reach out and take it. Fulfill the prophecy. Resurrect Captain Flameheart. And if that wasn't enough, I'm running a giveaway for those who fight valiantly for the Reapers. There's more details on the Discord, link in the description. All you need to know right now is that the winner gets an Obsidian Capstan, a future giveaway token, and an Obsidian 6-pack. 19 runners-up will get an Obsidian 6-pack too, and lastly, if Flameheart is revived, one of the top 20 winners will be selected to win a sealed copy of the Art of Sea of Thieves. And I want to see every single one of you there. And lastly, I have some posters for sale on my merch shelf, both inspired by classic Marvel and DC comics, one design for each side. Thanks for watching. If you want to see why you should save Pendragon, please click on the video in the pinned comment to watch Captain Blubber's video. It's wrong, biased, and almost certainly propaganda. Make sure to subscribe, like, and drop a comment telling me who you're siding with. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.